Well, it's here, and it's Amon-Ra, boy. Let's go. It's finally here. It's a great looking jersey. I'm going to be wearing this during draft night. Oh boy, it's going to be awesome. I'll give you guys an update on my plans for the draft at the end of this video. But this will be my final mock draft of the year. Alright? We will be doing this again next year. But for now, this is going to be my last mock draft on this channel. So, let's go ahead and get into it. So, we have a trade. Our first is a trade with the Eagles. We have traded pick 29 to the Philadelphia Eagles for pick 50, 120, 161, 171, 172, and pick 210. So we took all of their picks besides I think it was pick 53. So they would only have pick 29 and pick 53 remaining in that draft. So I don't know if we fleeced the Eagles there or what. I feel like I probably could have got like a late round pick next year as well, but just decided to work this out. It was good. There wasn't really a whole bunch of players to pick 29 that was remaining. Darius Robinson was the only guy remaining, but I felt like if we he could fall a little bit just from how the first round went, because there's a lot of edge rushers taken early on teams that needed edge rushers. So I feel like there's a chance that Darius Robinson could fall. So I took the risk, and we traded with the Eagles, and we're all the way. The first pick is now pick 50 in the second round. However, we have our second trade of the day. We have traded with the New Orleans Saints. Lions get pick 45. Saints get pick 50, 171, and 172. And with the 45th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Darius Robinson, defensive end in Missouri. I have no words for this pick. Like, legitimately, I have no words for this pick. How did he fall? I had this feeling that he was going to fall to, like, pick 36, pick 37, 38, somewhere around there. But he just kept falling. I'm going to keep risking it because there was, Ennis Rackstraw was still on the board at this time. So I'm like, if I expected to get him at pick 50 if Robinson was gone, but Robinson just kept falling, and I'm like, I have to trade up to get him. I cannot keep risking it with how talented of a player he is and how much of a need of edge rusher we have. I'm like, I had to trade with this, and only giving away two of our later round picks, I was 100% fine with this. So, again, I know I've taken him, I think it was in the first mock draft I took him, but I had to, man. I had to. It was either him or Ennis Rackstraw, and, just the fact that he was falling, I had to trade up and get him. Now, with the 61st pick, which is our first second-round pick that we did not have, this is true, we have pick 61 right now in the draft. So, with the 61st pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Patrick Paul, offensive tackle, Houston. Now my plans here. I understand he's an offensive tackle, but he was projected to go, I believe, pick 53, so we did get him a good spot. But I'm going to move him to guard. So he's going to play guard this year, and he's going to be my new starting guard next year when Zeitler leaves. So we're going to continue to develop him, moving him over to guard. If Decker or Sewell ever goes down, Patrick Paul can move back to his original position at tackle. And be the tackle in Sewell or Decker's place if they were ever to go down. So you basically get a 2-on-1 pick here, as you can get your offensive guard of the future and your backup offensive tackle and backup offensive guard for this year. So it's a win-win scenario. There were some good players still on the board, but I had to take him. We need an offensive lineman. He's the best offensive lineman left on the board at that time, so I had to take him. Now, with the 73rd pick, which is our Minnesota Vikings third-round pick, with the 73rd pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Ricky Pearsall, wide receiver, Florida. Again, I've voiced my opinions on this in my other mock drafts and even videos before that. I don't think we need a receiver that early. I wouldn't be mad if we took a receiver in this exact spot, 73. But again, I don't know if I love this pick or not. I do really like it from how rest of the draft phased out. But like if we did not do like if we did not make the moves later in the draft like I did, then I would not be happy with this pick because I feel like we at this spot, since I took an offensive lineman and an edge rusher before that, I would take a corner. But we took Ricky Pearsall. He's a very good receiver. He'll develop. He's going to compete with Donovan Peoples-Jones for that third-string wide receiver role. And he's one of my favorite receivers in the draft, especially in terms of round 2 and 3 talent wide receivers. So, and now we have our third and final trade of this draft. We have traded with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and that's a big one. Lions get pick 84. Steelers get pick 120, 161, 164, 201. That's what they get. I feel like I fleeced them, honestly, here. I don't know how I was able to pull this trade off. But it was. I'm legitimately shocked that I was able to pull it off. But with the 84th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, I believe I've taken this player before, the Detroit Lions select Chris Abrams-Draine, cornerback, Cincinnati. Or, excuse me, Missouri. So you get to team him up with Darius Robinson, get those teammates on the same team again. And he is arguably one of my favorite cornerbacks in the draft. I mean, like, I just don't know what to say. He is a very talented cornerback, especially in the round 2 to 3, 4 area in terms of cornerbacks. He is number 1 on the board for me. I think he is way higher than what PFN had him ranked. I think PFN had him ranked at, I want to say, pick 81. He is way higher than that, in my opinion. I believe he should realistically go pick 60. I think he's way better than that. I don't know if he will go, but I think that's how talented he is. And Chris Abrams-Draine, man, if we got Chris Abrams-Draine, I would lose my mind, honestly. I think he's a really good player. So, I mean, that fact that our first 4 picks we were able to get all in the top 100 and get all positions of need is incredible. So we got our edge rusher of the future behind Hutch. We got our offensive guard of the future. We got potentially a wide receiver of the future. Have a very good developmental cornerback who could turn into something within the first 4 picks. It's incredible how I was able to pull this off. And by the way, I did not give up any future picks next year with those selections, with the trades. So, again, I don't know how I pulled it off. Now, we do have a little bit of a dump off here. We don't pick until pick 205 now. So, it is a huge dump off. But with the 205th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Jowon Briggs, defensive tackle, Cincinnati. You get some more pass rush help with this pick. You get your defensive tackle to compete with Broderick Martin for the third string role this year. 100% with this pick, expecting Levi to be cut or put on the practice squad. I'm sorry, but I have no faith in Levi anymore. He was arguably my favorite player when we drafted in Brad Holmes' 2021 draft class. He was arguably my favorite player that we took. I don't know why. I just loved his upside, his tape. I just loved what he had coming out. And unfortunately, I know he's dealing with injuries and he's dealing with competition with McNeil becoming a superstar and now DJ Reader coming here. And you also had Isaiah Buggs and Benito Jones who were playing better than him. So I understand, but Levi, I'm sorry, but you're gone. You're going to be placed on the practice squad for me. But Jowon Briggs, I really like. I don't know. I mean, from the little bit that I've seen on tape from him, I really like. I still need to do some more research within the next couple of days before the draft. But I feel like this is a good value pick as well. He's supposed to go, I believe, around the same area. But we need defensive tackle. He'll compete with Martin. For sure will be my 4th-string defensive tackle as of right now. And will compete with Martin to be that 3rd string. And from the little bit I've seen, I think he's really good. Now, what's the 210th pick that we have acquired from the trade with the first trade with the Eagles? With the 210th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Nehemiah Pritchett, cornerback, Auburn. This guy will be my 5th or 6th string corner next year. He's, again, one of my favorite, well, is my favorite late round cornerback in terms of like round 5, 6, 7. In my opinion, he's the best total. I've loved his tape that I've seen. I'm pretty sure also the Lions had him on a pre-draft visit. Also, Darius Robinson has been with the pre-draft visit with the Lions as well. But so is Nehemiah Pritchett, and we need cornerback depth. So with this, we went from having probably one of the worst cornerback rooms in the league last year from how it played out to a very solid group, arguably top 10. You have Carlton Davis as your number 1. You have Chris Abrams-Draine as your number 2. You got Amik Robertson as your number 3. Mosley at number 4. Kendall Vildor at number 5. And you got Nehemiah Pritchett at number 6. With guys like Khalil Dorsey, Stephen Gilmore, with the 7th and 8th string role. Like, that is incredible. Again, you might not have that superstar number 2 cornerback or even a superstar number 1. I think Davis can be that, but I wouldn't call him a superstar. How he's played with the Bucs, he's just been good. But I love Chris Abrams-Draine. I think Nehemiah Pritchett is really good and can turn into something. So this was really just, a pick that can turn into something. There's no risk involved here. And he might not get much of a role year 1, but I bet for sure he will get a role year 2. And I just expect him to compete with all the other guys. So, I love this pick. Now, with the last pick in the draft for the Lions, with the 249th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Nathan Thomas, offensive tackle, Louisiana. Nathan Thomas will be my offensive tackle of the backup offensive tackle of the future. I don't expect him to ever start with us, but for right now, he's definitely my backup DT. I could see him competing with Connor Galvin for that backup offensive tackle, or they can move Sorsdahl back to offensive tackle and compete with him as well. But obviously, you have Patrick Paul as well, who's an backup offensive lineman for us year 1. So he can also be that backup offensive tackle for this year. But in case if, say Zeitler goes down, Paul steps in at guard, say Decker is down as well, then Nathan Thomas would step in at backup tackle for me. So, again, not much of a risk here involved at all. We need a backup offensive tackle, and I thought it was a good pick. He was the best offensive tackle remaining on the board by considerable margin. And I just decided to take him. There's no other players that were standing out that spot, so I just decided to take him. Now, the only position that I wish I would have gotten this draft that I did not get was a center. We did not get a center, so we now need to sign a backup center with the remaining free agents. I saw that Lucas Patrick, the Packers starting center for these last year, and I believe the past couple years, who was all right when he played with the Packers. I would consider bringing him in to be a backup center for a year or 2. He's also very versatile. He can move to guard, so somebody like that. There's a couple other guys out there that I just can't name off the top of my head. That's backup center. Cowable. Yes, Cowable. But that's really the only position that we didn't address. And the fact that I did not have to get rid of any 2025 draft picks was crazy to me. Because I would say by far this was my best draft class. And yes, it might sound crazy from how these people fell, but they just did. I had to trade up and get some guys. But this has been about my best mock draft by far. So, one pride, go Lions. I'm ready for the draft. It's, 2 days away now. Now, these are my plans. We will be, like I said, be streaming day 2 and 3. That is confirmed. I will 100% be doing that. Don't know about day 3, how long I will be streaming. I will definitely be streaming around 4 or 5, probably 6. Don't know about 7. Really just depends how long it will take to get through it. I believe it usually takes around 3 to 4 hours to get to round 7. So it's going to be a while, but we'll see how we can do it. But round 1 is, I'm going to give you My thoughts now. I don't know. I really don't know. So this is what I'm going to tell you. I'm either going to post a small video on draft night, like 30-second video on if I'm going to do day one, or I'm just going to say if I'm going to do it, I'm going to stream it. Like, I'm going to go ahead and stream it. We're streaming the day one of the draft if we are to stream it an hour before the draft starts to give my opinions, to give my draft board for the Lions, and just draft board in general. Again, right now I am leaning towards doing it. And if I'm talking to somebody next to me, that will be my dad. My dad watches the draft with me. So if I'm talking to somebody, I'm looking over talking to somebody, that's my dad. So, but most likely we'll be streaming day one of the draft. Can't wait for it. And if we for some reason don't decide to stream day one of the draft, I will just delete the stream or post a small skit saying I won't be doing it. But One Pride, go Lions. Can't wait for the draft. It's so close. It's just stuck in my head. I still got a lot of work to do. Still got to take a look at a lot of players. And still thinking about, like, trading spots, what Brad Holmes should do at pick 29, 61, 73, etc. But list your favorite player in the draft in the comment section down below. List a sneaky player that you think could fall, that you want the Lions to take. And also in the comments below, just tell me if I should stream the day one of the draft. So, One Pride, go Lions. Sorry about the long video. I knew it was going to be long. I had a lot of stuff to go over. But next time I will be seeing you guys on YouTube is for the draft. So, One Pride, go Lions. It's so close, man.